All right. My dear fellow listeners and viewers, good evening and welcome to another edition of the Dr. Narine Dat Show. For those of you who are tuning into us for the very first time, keep in mind that there are a few different ways to listen to us. You can listen to us on the regular dial, that's the radio, 102.7 CKMS FM. You can listen to us on Rogers digital cable for those of you who have the Rogers digital box. And of course, we're also live streaming our interview here. So by all means, take the opportunity to share a page. Usually we start off with music and whatnot. But because of the passing of Asha Brosley, we have decided to kind of pause with that musical piece. But moving forward, obviously, we'll kind of have, our regular routine with the music and so forth. Tonight, I'm extremely excited that we have a special guest, but I want to remind you that the whole purpose of the Dr. Narine Dat Show is to create a safe space for positive energy and mutual respect. And speaking of mutual respect, our guest tonight has founded the Cross Cultural magazine, which is all about mutual respect. She has won several awards, and obviously we'll get to hear some of those as well too, and so much more. So, Gehan, welcome to the show. How are you doing this evening?
I'm great. How are you? So good to connect again. It's been a while.
Yes, so nice.
And Narayan, congratulations. You just been awarded yourself yesterday. Tell your listeners about it.
Yes, yeah. So we'll do all of that. Thank you for kind of mention that out of the bat. I do appreciate that. What we'll do though, I mean, I've had you on the show a few times. I've been on your show several times. We have partnered on so many different projects and things of that sort. But take your time. You're the only one. Take your time. A minute, and kind of reintroduce yourself back to us so the folks get to know who you are, and then we will get right into interview, and because we have so much to talk about.
Definitely. We can never run out of things to say.
Mm.
Uh, Can I start with saying that our first kind of encounter was on a documentary, and it's been a very long time ago. I don't want to age you or myself.
Mm.
It
Mhm.
was called Northern something.
Northern Choice.
Northern Choice. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, it's been that long. That's why.
it has.
Mhm.
And it was also about documenting newcomers or people who have come from other places and who have done wonderful things. And that's how you were there too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, that's how we kind of that's where both of us had the opportunity to kind of introduce ourselves to each other, and here we are several years after. Anything else you would like to say in terms of yourself? Would you like to, to introduce yourself a little bit more, or you want me to kind of dive into things?
Well, I could just say because just like you mentioned, most of your
Hmm.
listeners may not be uh, aware what I do.
Hmm.
Um, when I first came, I come from Egypt. Basically what we refer to as the crossroads of the old world. So
Hmm.
we never had any issues with encountering and interacting and even absorbing from other cultures. And I came, and everybody here was very nervous about multiculturalism, being very oversensitized and being very politically correct. And uh, I decided to found and publish Cross Cultures magazine, asking people from the different faiths and cultures to speak about themselves, because I've had major problems with people speaking about other people's cultures and
Hmm.
faiths.
Hmm.
So basically, that's how I went with this. It's grassroots. It's a community base. I don't have staff, and I don't have the structure of a publication. It's all from the community. So that's how it is.
That's awesome. So, I mean, you have been, publishing the magazine for several years. What will
34, 35 years.
that's that's
That's
awesome.
more than some.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a long time. Uh, I know you wouldn't be able to share all the details of the magazine per se, but what are some of the, stories that stood out for you over the years?
Okay, let me also tell you that
Mm,
for 20 years prior to COVID, I
mhm,
have also been doing the Waterloo Region's event, March 21st, which is the UN International Day for Elimination of Racial Discrimination. And I also had a monthly perspectives dialogue at the Kitchener Public Library. Both yourself and I collaborated several times during elections to have democracy in action, inviting the candidates and so on. Um, Besides that, um, I also was learning from my own children. One of my daughters had come with us from Egypt, and she's 40, she doesn't like me to say, but about 49 years old, and I'm a
mhm.
grandmother. My other two were born here in Canada, so I I noticed her adjusting and comparing and coming back today to tell me every day about her different reflections and new experience about the differences between our schools in Egypt and here. And then we've got two more kids born here, growing up here. And so there was a lot to adjust, but also make them feel proud of who they are and who we are. I guess that maybe summarizes a bit. Is
All
that what
right.
you were looking for, or
Yeah,
did
absolutely.
did I
No,
go
thanks.
off the
Yeah.
rails?
No, no, you are on track here. So thank you for that. Do know people are watching us live. I wouldn't be able to say hello to everybody, but I want to give a special hello to my Papa and Pua, which is kind of uncle, so to speak. Um, I'm not sure if they're watching all the way from California or China because they visited China. I'm not sure if they're back on that, but they're watching. So wherever you guys are watching,
That
do
would be
know,
interesting to know how they perceive it when they come back.
uh, yeah. So that's we appreciate that they are watching. We've just started. Usually we started with music and so forth, but we just paused with our music only for today. And so Jihan and I, we have, as she, was speaking during, her introduction, we've known each other for a while. Her and I have done lots of community work, lots of partnership and so forth. There's one thing in particular I would like you to kind of reflect on. Speaking of on reflection, when you were speaking, you and I, we partner and we did some some democracy in action work in, as it relates to, local politics and
Yeah, we did those
politics
town
in
halls as well.
general. Yeah, exactly. And we did some town halls and so forth, and whatnot. And you were very strongly, supporting, that initiative and all of these types of things. Why is it that you felt the importance of really pushing for that democracy message?
Because maybe coming from several military dictatorships, I was feeling that people here are taking it for granted. They're not taking advantage of their actual right to vote, and
Mhm.
people were just letting things take care of themselves. And I was very concerned. There were a lot of things to discuss. I also do not affiliate with any parties.
Mhm.
I will support and cheer people as individuals. And I was concerned that even the parties themselves were turning into structures that were kind of like us and them, and keeping Canada and what we need to really be working on get sides, what do you call the expression, sides something, and I needed to bring the focus back to whatever our affiliations, we should all be working towards what is good for Canada. And I voted across the board, like whoever is the party that can do something at the time that is needed, and the representative in my riding who can help do that. This is the person I vote for.
All
And
right.
I should add,
Mhm.
I we discuss with my children. I mean, now they're grown up and all married, but we always talked. But I never ever asked them or told them how to vote.
Mhm. Well, that's good to know.
I think it's important, Narain, because a lot of people just follow blindly what the family or the tradition had been, without looking at what the situation that Canada is right now going through, and that they need to pay attention who can pull us through it.
Absolutely. So if time permits, and I'm sure it will, we will talk more about anything, related to politics and all that, and or we can go back and forth. That's fine. But I want to talk about your strong, consistent community work over the years, and I'll ask you an open general question here. Um, because you never stop, right? So why it was important for you to kind of continue to be part of so many different community initiative, trying to close different gaps, all of these things. Why you felt the need to be part of something? I have a good idea what it could be, but I think it would be nice for you to share with our
Take a
viewers and
shot at it.
listeners.
Like, take a shot at it. Like,
I think you share some of my values because at the end of the day, if we are not on the table, then we are not on the menu, right? That's what the prime minister said, by the way, right? So basically, if we are not there to kind of, to give our voice to make sure, change happens and so forth, we are losing out on great opportunity, not only for ourselves, but for so many different people. The good news with you is that you are very consistent, particularly when it comes to the annual event you used to do. I know things got paused a little bit, especially with the pandemic and so forth. But generally speaking, why you felt the need to kind of, continue on doing, so many different projects. You've participated in so many different initiatives, won so many different awards and so forth. What was the main reason for you?
okay, two main reasons. One of
Mhm,
them is, okay, I came here, I brought one daughter, and then I had two more children here, a boy and a girl.
mhm,
And
mhm,
so I felt it's my responsibility to make sure that what we came to and we're looking up to and admiring would continue. What a lot of people don't understand is like, um, when we come, we have a lot of skills, we have a lot of experience. I came when I was 36 already, so
mhm,
I knew a thing or two, and I was seeing democracy was being taken for granted. I'm not going to say eroded, but
mhm,
it has um, decreased.
mhm,
And not in it's not a dictatorial thing. It's more they're getting dragged into this party, the number of votes, this and that, and they're missing the point where we send a representative to parliament to speak for this riding.
mhm,
Okay. Um, and we elect them according to their personality, their background, and um, so it has to be not a party thing, because we shouldn't be dragged into the war between the two parties. We should be looking at the person, the right person for my riding, who will take care of us as a constituent. You see what I'm saying? The other thing is the offices of the representative, once they're elected, becomes, and I'm sorry to say it, but they become very bureaucratic. They even have the doors locked, and you have to have appointments, and it's too structured, whereas they should have been open, and they should have been having some kind of structure to communicate with us all the time. We have to tell them how to vote on each bill, not follow or toe the party line. I don't know how you feel about that, but I do feel very strongly about that.
Yeah. I mean, I hear what hear what you're saying, and I think you brought up a good point. As I end up running, as an independent as well too, for the same reason, but I voted all different ways as well too. So I hear you loud and clear, and I think you've brought up a good point for sure. But speaking along that line, though, in terms of doors are being locked and things of that sort, one of the things I was told by the member of parliament is that they're doing that because of safety reasons, right? They've had some threats and things of that sort, at least a few of them. And I think they were trying to protect themselves and so forth, just so you kind of know, right? Which is difficult because they don't respond to email sometimes, or they don't answer phone calls, and that can be hard if people have something that they would like to get addressed, right? But
Is that recent, or this has been, because what I am remarking on has been going on
mhm.
for much too long. It's not recent. If they're concerned now, maybe, but in the past, there wasn't any cause for concern. But they were kind of developing into a hierarchy. And
Well, of course. Mhm.
okay, and then they start, once, because they are now being accessing information in parliament or during their work, and they feel superior all of a sudden, like they know what's going on, and we're the idiots who just voted for them.
Yeah, no, I totally hear you. So thank you so much for that, Jihan. So my dear fellow listeners and
Now I've
viewers,
upset everybody.
for those of you who are watching and listening, I just want to remind you that you're watching the Dr. Narine Dat Show. Keep in mind there are a few different ways to listen to us. That's the regular dial, and obviously we are live streaming our interview here. So by all means, feel free to share our page if you so choose. I want to give a special hello to Ken Rampersad. Thank you so much. I see that you're busy preparing for your Guyana trip with the awards and shipping things and whatnot. So hopefully you have that courage and strength to continue on. That is a beautiful thing. Let me say hello to Shanta Ramroop as well too, living locally here in Cambridge. Bibi from New York City, I believe, are at least close in around that area, formerly of Number 65 Village, who has been a really good support of my initiative in terms of supporting, which I really appreciate. She comment openly, she and so forth, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Um, Henwenty, thank you so much for taking a sneak peek. And all of you folks, here in the show, we talk about everything. It is a very unique show. So we talk about mental health, we talk about cultural stuff, all of these types of things. And today we are talking with Jihan, who is full of knowledge in terms of so many different things. But she has a passion for advocacy work. She is very committed and whatnot. And as I was mentioning earlier, her and I partner. We've done some really, really great work over the years, including some democracy work where we are, we're trying to clean things up based on the resources we have at hand. So Jihan, a question for you. As you would know, you may have been reading news, the news here and there. As you would know, we do have election coming up in October. That's a few months from now. It seems like far away. It's not far away from now.
That's
And our
provincial now. Provincial, municipal.
so that's the municipal election, yeah. And so what Doug Ford is trying to do, or wanting to do, or put a proposal, is instead of doing the regular voting to select regional chairs and so forth, he would like to appoint those positions. What's your take on that?
I totally reject that. He doesn't have the authority. That would be going against democracy. We have the right to elect our own regional chair. And just because he's playing party differences does not give him the right to force his own appointee.
Yeah, but the proposal is in, and he has a majority government. Don't forget that.
That is provincial, not municipal.
Yeah, but they have a strong role when it comes to managing the municipal piece of things. They're the one who can make some of
No,
those decisions.
he
We don't
needs
have
to. Hey,
to. We
he
don't-
needs to work. He needs to work with whoever we choose.
but
Okay.
the purpose, yeah. So let's see what comes out of that proposal. But everybody's kind of continue on just as normal.
I don't know what normal is right now.
I
I
don't
don't know
know.
why you're defending him, honestly.
No, no. Oh, no, 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 no. I'm not defending him. I mean, he put a proposal in, and I think we have to see what comes out of it. But as of now, when I say people are continuing as normal, they're continuing as normal, meaning that they're functioning just as normal, because as of now, nothing has passed in terms of new law, right? So that's what that's all about. So let's get back to this whole giving back to the community and all of these types of things. We have, as you know, lots of we have like a new set of generation here. The demographic has changed, all of these types of things. What kind of advice would you give to folks who just maybe migrated here in your region, Waterloo, have different values in terms of how we operate here? Because as you would know, here in Canada and the region and whatnot, we value the importance of volunteerism and giving back, and working together, all of that. What advice do you give for folks who just come to this country and have a lot of gift in terms of talent and uniqueness and so forth, and want to somehow be part of that, but don't know what first step to take to get started?
I think you share my experience pretty much. I would say get involved, integrate. It's good to have your own community's support and spirit for occasions and whatnot. But you're here now. You need to um, immerse in the community. Um, there are two edges to something I'm going to say.
Mhm.
When I say don't bring your baggage of whatever with you, but also I'm going to say please bring your experience. And there's a big difference between your skills and your experience in how things have developed there. You don't represent what happened in your country. You obviously wanted to leave, so you're not approving of some of the things that you're escaping, but
Mhm.
at the same time, it has given you experience. And so that, by all means, should be shared, but not in a rigid way, because what we contribute here has to be worked into what we teach ourselves about how things are here. Um, I will still say that we both can learn from each other, like
Mhm.
the Canadian mainstream and the newcomers have a lot to exchange.
Thank you so much for that, Jihan. So, I mean, you have been here a long time. You and I, we've been here a long time in the region of Waterloo here. We've seen the changes over the years, right?
Yes.
What would you say are some of the challenges now that we didn't have, let's say, 15, 20 years ago, in your view of things?
I think people were more laid back, kinder,
Mhm.
more open. I think, I mean, I'm going to speak for myself, but you
Mhm.
probably may share that. Um, I could not have done any of the things that I you say I have done without the open arms with which I had been received here, and how everybody who is already here has welcomed my ideas, have supported what I'm doing, have partnered with me. So you can't say you came and you did. No, I had an idea. It was well received and well supported.
So you had the support, if I'm hearing correctly, when
Yeah,
you start
well,
when you came here.
people, yeah. Um, and it goes in waves, and you know that. Like even racism at some point
Mm.
peaks, and then it drops for God knows what reasons, but mainly economic. When things are tough here, they want to blame the newcomers. Um, but the other thing is as well, um, you, how shall I say this? I tried with my magazine to show the human aspect of all the different faiths and cultures, that we're not a stereotype, we're not one size fits all. Um, could be because of our previous skills and experiences, could be how flexible we are about moving from one environment, and I don't mean climate, I mean social
Mhm.
environment to another, how differently people adapt, how differently people are, and I can, I mean, during my, I have two different radio shows. One is the cross cultures, where I deal with all the faiths and cultures, and then I have another one in Arabic, specifically for the Arabic community. And some people have come and become very overprotective of their children. They have to attend, religious things, and um, in the end, they have to marry someone from the culture. God knows, like there are all kinds of different things. I personally w- pride myself in, and I say it all the time, that all three of my children have married outside of the faith and outside
Mhm.
of the culture. And I'm very happy with all my in-laws.
Mhm.
um, Both the person who's married to my children or their families, we get along just fine. Everything, we're at a human level, not on a uh, I'm this or I'm that. Like I don't know why some people um, have to adhere to something that they actually were escaping from. Does that make sense
Mhm.
to you?
Yeah, yeah.
How do you feel about it?
Well, I mean, you've kind of said it all. I think obviously things are different now in a sense that the demographic is different, which means that the needs and whatnot is very different now, right?
In what way?
Um,
No, I'm going to interview you now.
No, 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 no. It's okay. We're going back and forth here. I know you have your radio show as well. To be on the radio show, it's just natural that these things come up. I think one of the biggest issues I'm seeing now still is the whole housing issue, right? I mean, 20 years ago we didn't had as much challenge in terms of the housing issue, and I think one of the reasons for that is because the population is growing now, right? 15 years ago, we probably had about 500,000 people. I believe we are close to like a million people just in this region here and things of that sort. And as you would know, because of the universities and so forth, we have, people coming in all the time. Obviously, it's a little bit more expensive to live in Toronto, things of that sort. So people kind of move in and so forth. So all of those are a contributing factor. And again, we can go so far with this because if we don't have the right people managing these things, like the politicians and so forth, things can kind of get out of whack too. But we don't need to get
No,
into
may
all of
I
that at
interrupt?
all.
May I interrupt?
Absolutely, of
Sorry about
course.
that.
That's why
Okay.
I brought you here for a reason.
Okay. No, as you're speaking, I'm
Yeah.
also keeping in mind
Mhm.
that a lot of newcomers tend to gravitate towards the bigger size cities. Whereas Canada, because it was more of a agricultural immigration in the past, have formed smaller type of communities, and I think that is eroding. You have politicians who want more, building more, attracting more, because of course that enlarges their tax base, that enlarges their budget, but that's not corresponding to the quality of life. I remember whenever there was a new development of a neighborhood, there was always a park with facilities for people to enjoy instead of having to go further away for green space. I've seen all the new structures not taking that into this might sound insignificant to some people, but I was admiring that when I first came, and that hasn't happened right now. As you say, prices, you have, and I don't want to target a certain culture, but there are some who came with, um, uh, as refugees with nothing. And then you have the other extreme who have come with too much money and have disturbed the balance of the economy, kind of thing. Like they can afford more expensive residences, uh, you know, like that should be managed um, more, keeping in mind the quality of the society. Like people should still be able to have access to leisure, because they that affects their performance at work and at with their families. If everybody starts being stressed, that's not good, right?
Oh,
Like
no, no, no.
you're the social specialist here.
Mm, yeah. No, no, you brought such a good point. When people start to get stressed, it doesn't necessarily affect just themselves and the family, it affects the community and all of that, right? There's no question about that. Because think about it, when people are stressed, let's say because of the extra stress and whatnot, let's say because of that they're missing work. Think how that can really, have a ripple effect, on so many different things, right? Because things are not going to get done now. You have shortage of manpower, all of those types of things causes anxiety for the people who are managing things, all of these types of things, right? So absolutely, for sure. Absolutely. Yes, for sure. So thank you so much for that, Gehan. Very much appreciated. So what's up with the magazine? Is it still like like ongoing online where you still publish like from time to time somewhat?
I've got a website, and yes, it's alive and kicking.
Yes, live and kicking. Yeah. No,
I just
I like
stopped.
that. Yeah.
Okay, I just stopped printing it
Mhm,
when we were hit with a recession,
mhm,
and I wasn't getting advertising. And I will tell you, Narayan, I say it a
mhm,
lot. I never applied for any government funding. I mean, I created my own printing business to support,
mhm,
and I'm going to say
mhm,
my husband calls it my hobby, but it's the
mhm,
magazine.
mhm,
And so I always sustained my own activities. Okay,
mhm,
so there's um, it's hard to adjust to when when you need to be dependent on something. My magazine is now online because it's not it wouldn't um, it wouldn't be
It's not
supported by advert.
sustainable. Yeah.
It wouldn't be supported by advertising.
Yeah.
The
No,
the
I totally agree.
businesses after COVID and everything, the businesses have all suffered, So I don't consider that a failure of either of us, like not the businesses or my business. And now I'm retired.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So
No,
definitely, so keep in mind.
only from the printing. I'm doing all the other things.
Of course, you think all the other things. So keep in mind, we live in a digital world now. So you move and transition into just the digital piece for the magazine. I think that was the right decision. I believe Glove Mercury is not being published anymore. The hard copy, at least, that's not happening anymore. And even the online system that they have, they set it up in such of a way that, let's say, somehow there's some news pop up on your screen or something along that line. They set up in such of a way that it doesn't allow you to watch that news until you kind of sign up, if you pay $1 or something.
Yes, thank you for saying that. And yes, I totally agree with you. Thank you so much for saying that, because I think that um, because I'm not doing the magazine to run as a business model. I'm doing the
Mhm,
magazine to give the opportunity for everybody to learn about each other and for a message to be coming out. And
mhm,
I first do not want it to be controlled by a big investment who can tell me
mhm,
what to do. And that's why I never applied for anything. But also, um, I um, I cannot play along. Um, I try to be as neutral, and I think I do that pretty well.
mhm,
Everybody has, to an extent, biases, but not taking biases to the next stage where you can be racist, I think is okay. I'm entitled to an opinion, as the last half hour will tell you. I have lots of opinions,
mhm,
but the thing is, I want to reach the reader or the listener
mhm.
more than to make a dollar here or there. That's the difference.
Uh, yeah, so thank you so much. So, what are some of the feedback you've gotten from folks reading the magazine, reading the stories, different culture, all of these things? Have you gotten? I'm
You know
assuming
what's
that's a
so
good
really,
assumption.
really, really interesting?
Mhm,
When I get an article addressing certain concerns of a particular community, and then I get the feedback, oh, that's exactly how it is. And I tell this person, you have no idea, you are describing the society of a person who's from the other end of the world. So we're all human beings. We all have concerns. We all love our children. We all want them to succeed and be happy. And it doesn't matter which country or which culture you come from. Uh, that does not change.
yeah, absolutely, for sure, for sure. So, without any question, you love doing what you do, right? Because you've been doing it for so
Tell
many
your
decades.
listeners we're not scripted here. You're hitting me.
Oh no, we don't always. There's no need for that, anyways, right? Um, so that's, that's unheard of, right? A lot of people start a project, and they run it for a little while, for a couple of years, 3 4 years, and they stop. And sometimes they have good reasons to stop. But you've been doing this for a few decades now.
Yes,
What's
38,
the
38 years.
well, there to be specific, 30 years? What kept you going for all of these years? As you mentioned earlier, the website is up and
What keeps
alive and
what
it's
keeps what
kicking.
keeps me
Yeah,
going,
yeah.
Narine, is that
Mm,
I wake up every morning, and I can say that my husband does share that
mhm,
sentiment. Every day, I thank God for being in Canada. I love Canada. I
mhm,
have no divided loyalty. I mean, I loved Egypt. Um, and I love Canada just as much.
So do you have dual citizenship? You do not have to answer this question, but do you have dual
No, I don't have to.
citizenship or you're not a
Luckily,
no,
that
no?
both no, luckily both countries are okay with that. I hope it
Okay.
stays that way because having I mean, you can't you can't uproot a person and then think that they're just newly born at Pearson Airport. Okay, we come with experience. We come with a culture. I actually come from a huge civilization. Don't deprive me of it. At the same time, I have to say, newcomers have to be very careful not to impose their culture or their civilization until they know what it is that's going on here.
Yeah.
And I'm having very heated discussions these days because I have some people claiming to represent my faith, saying things that I totally disagree with, but then they get very excited, and I don't want to say the word vicious, but they are um, accusing me, and I say, you have only stepped in here. You don't know what you're talking about. Try and understand first, and then adjust.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for
I,
that.
I'm, I,
So
and I'm not saying adjust in the way that you erase whatever it is you have. No, but put it into perspective. Like this is how it's been working here. How do I fit into it? Not how I am going to change it to what I think it is. No.
yeah. So I will do a show. Thank you so much for that, Jihan. I mean, you've dwelt with people from so many different cultures, so this next question wouldn't be of a surprise and shock to you in any shape or form. But I will actually do a separate
I'm
show on this.
shock-proof.
I will, I will do a separate show on this topic because I think it's important because people came from all over the world, um, and so their culture might be slightly different for whatever reason is. So the hijab, right? Hijab. Um, you have been open about this, publicly and talk about this
Okay,
and so forth. Even
I'm very proud of being a Muslim.
Mhm,
Okay, the fact that I
mhm,
don't wear hijab is exactly because it is not something that I need to practice my religion.
mhm.
So keep going.
No, no, well, you kind of asked my question there, and I'm glad you did. So the question that I wanted to ask you, because people are watching, listening, and will be, it's kind of weather's kind of nice out there, as you can see, and so people will be watching even after our interview here. We basically have more viewers watching after because people have busy lives and so forth. So I want you to repeat what you have just said. You're Muslim, and you're very proud of your religion. You've made that
Alhamdulillah, yeah.
clear.
Yes,
Uh, but you have chosen not to wear the hijab, and your reasoning behind it is, if I've heard you correctly, you're saying that it is not required to be a Muslim or considered a good Muslim. Is that what you're saying?
absolutely. But I should
Mm,
also tell you
mm,
that um, being a Muslim is more of a spiritual thing. The rituals
mm,
are more other people enforcing. Okay, it's probably a reminder for some people to stay Muslim or whatever it is. I don't need a
mm.
reminder. I know exactly enough about
Who
my
you are?
religion.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hmm.
at the same time, and this is very important, um, and I have done that frequently, especially with the accommodation that was happening in Quebec and other occasions when there was the issue with the turban for the RCMP in the past and whatnot. Um, I will defend people's choice. Okay, I'm not.
Hmm.
I'm saying I am free not to wear a hijab. But if a
Hmm.
person is wanting to wear a hijab, that is their right, and I will defend their right to do that, as long as it doesn't infringe on my right. I don't want anyone telling me what to do. So
So
I'm
that's
also not
mhm.
telling them what to do.
So that's a strong statement there, and makes a lot of sense. You're, if I'm hearing you correctly, you're not saying to people, look, you do not have to wear one. You will support them if they choose to wear one, right?
Of
But
course,
you also, on the other hand, don't want that value to be enforced on you, if I'm hearing you correctly.
but I'm also defending them
Mm-hmm.
because if wearing a hijab is going to cost them their career, or if it's going to, like it happened in Quebec, a person cannot show up in court unless she removes her headscarf. I will defend them. I will
Yeah.
defend them.
So it's hard for us to follow along everything that's happening because Canada is a big country and each province has its own ruling, as you would know. So is that what's happening, or you were just given an example
No,
there?
no, these are that was the whole reason behind the Bill
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
C
yes. Yes.
21.
Yes. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is now with the Supreme Court,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
Quebec um, uh, invoked the notwithstanding clause.
Yeah. 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 And so, what's your take on that? I think you've made that clear, right? If you've kind of, in a sense, you've kind of made it clear. But I'm going to ask you to be more.
I'll boil it down to you, because as we started, you mentioned that I
Mhm.
support mutual
Yeah.
respect.
Yeah. Mutual respect. Absolutely. Yeah, thank you so much for that. And that, when you think about it, what you've just said, it really aligns with your values in a sense that you really believe in, in respecting people for their choices. You want to be respectful for your choices, and the cross culture initiative really highlights all of that, which is great, which is awesome. And apart from all of that, this is just specifically in terms of your own religion, but I know you well. You are as open as you can be. You go to all of these multicultural events. When you
It's
interviewed me
beautiful. You
some
have the whole world here to you, you know?
I know, yes, absolutely. When you interviewed me on your show, like you asked me for, music from my country per se, and with such of a love and all of that, because you want to make sure that you get it right. And so I really admire that part about you, that's for sure. All right, so we have a few minutes more left here. We want to be mindful of people's time and everything else. I want to highlight some things of you. I mean, when we honor you with the Activision Award, Dr. John, actually, who made the presentation to you, he was the one, was going through the bio, and the list goes on and on and on in terms of so many board you were part of, all of those types of things. And I know it's hard to kind of pick and choose here and whatnot, but out of all the boards that you've been part of, which one can you confidently say that, look, I've made the most impact, towards these organizations by being a board member, for example?
It's hard. I don't know.
It's hard. I know it's hard.
I'll tell you why, because
Yeah.
to be honest, if it's a board where we're going to sit and meet once a month, just to
Mm,
define our mission for six
mm,
months, I'm not interested and I drop out. But if
mm,
I'm in there because we're going to get some work done, I'm all for it.
mm.
And there are those different boards, and you know that.
Oh yes, oh yes. There are different boards, different purpose. Some, can be more meaningful for people. Some people are probably looking for the one that you just mentioned that you don't have much interest in. You know what I mean? Some people are okay to spend all of those times to meet every so often, go for coffee, go for dinner, try to figure out the mission and the vision and all the values and all of that,
I swear to you,
right?
one time I just lost my patience. We were sitting there
Mm,
meeting every month,
mm,
and seriously, when I'm running a business and I have three kids to run around, I don't have that kind of time to spare to sit down and just like keep thinking. And then all of a sudden, I just picked up a piece of paper and I said, "Okay, here's the vision, here's the mission, here's this," and I did this in 5 minutes. I don't know why it took 6 months.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I totally hear you. So let's get to some of the awards. I mean, an
Your
award.
awards, your awards. Tell
No, no,
tell
no, no.
tell your listeners about your awards. I insist. Please.
So, like, you mean the one from last night?
Yeah.
So, you know what? If so, I'll get to you. But speaking of that, oh, something fell here. Oh, some water here. Sorry, I'm trying to get this thing here. It looks like I dropped some water here. I'll clean up afterward.
Your microphone is not okay. No.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So you'll be fine.
Like,
No, so basically, yeah. So we'll get to your award, but Jihan was asking me to talk about my award here a little bit. I wouldn't take much time doing that. But anyway, so I'm just gonna show folks here. I'm not sure how well
put it
they can
against the
see it.
blue so we can see what's written.
So
Against
I
the sky.
think no, it's gonna be a little bit
Oh,
hard. It's gonna be a
yeah.
little bit hard. But
Yeah,
anyways,
it doesn't show at all when you put it against the sky.
yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah, yeah. So it's
So
here
what
though.
does
But
it say?
so basically, it is the award basically was for community allyship and solidarity work, so to speak. And it is from the Kind Mind Family Wellness Organization. And so the event took place last night. And you know, I have to say that I mean, like yourself and everybody else, people give it their best shot in terms of doing things that has some sort of meaning, you know, to them, and and think, people have different values and contribute in different ways and so forth. But one of the reasons why I really find this special is that there were a few organizations who were up for this award. So I went to that award event not as a recipient per se, because nobody was told. Usually I've gone to awards where you're told that you're the recipient and whatnot. Not this one. But the story I want to share is that the fact that we have had two big organizations who were up for that award, and myself as an individual, and the fact that I won over those organizations is a testimony that every individual who's watching right now and all of that has the potential to make a huge impact, just like you did over the years, kind of thing. I wouldn't say much about this because this is your show, you're my guest here. When I go on your show and you interview me, I'm going to talk about all of that.
Good.
But
Okay.
thank you for kind of asking me. And I have to say they very well planned it so well. The food was great as well too. So forget about the award for a second. The food was awesome. Buffet style. You eat as much as you want. The dessert was great. They had good entertainment. Great people were there. And I have to say they really made it special because accompanied the award was several different certificates from different MPs and MPPs and so forth, and a special letter from the Prime Minister of Canada and so forth. So it was kind of
Wow.
very nice and special kind of thing. Yeah,
That's so
yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I set the tone now for you to talk about yours. So let me hear about yours. I mean, we have honored you with the Activision Lifetime Achievement Award because it was very well deserving. I wish if they would have done that last night too. Dr. Edwin, I was there. He was
Yes.
nominated for the Lifetime Achievement Award, and he wasn't selected. It was somebody else. And the other lady, I can safely say that she's deserving of it as well too. But I think they've made a huge mistake by not awarding both of them, because they've award two youths. Um, um, the Youth Leadership Award, and they should have done it for the two lifetime achievement award folks as well too, because I mean this is lifetime achievement, right? So this is not like something people just starting out. And as I learned last night, Dr. Edwin will be moving to Ottawa. He shared that on Facebook.
He's already there.
Yeah, so he's kind of officially kind of going now, kind of thing, and whatnot. So he kind of came to me and he kind of said to me, "Hey, I want you to know of this and whatnot." But he's open and vocal about these things, as you know, so I can share one or two things. But the good news, though, about him is that
He's another one of my longtime friends.
yeah, the good thing with him, though, is that he can handle rejection really, really well. Because I can tell you, sometimes you say to yourself that life is not fair, because I've received over 200 awards, prestigious awards, and this guy deserved. I mean, he was in a whole different category, so nothing to do with me. But what I like about him, he has a book that's gonna come out soon, and he's gonna talk about all of this rejection and how it really did not really stop him from really moving forward, because when you think about it, he has completed his doctorate, right? But I really felt it was so deserving for him to do that. So hopefully we can find a way to honor him with our Activision Award. We'll have
That
to
would be
figure that out for
amazing.
sure.
That
I
would be
think we
amazing.
should do that before he go back to Ottawa. That's for sure. All right. So let me say hello to a few people, and then you can reflect on your awards. You've done really, really great work, and it's a really good way to kind of celebrate you while you're here as well too. Let me say hello, give a special hello to John from Queens. Thank you, John, for taking a sneak peek. Um, and Kenneth Prasad is saying congrats to all of your awards. I'm not sure if he's congratulating me or congratulating you. I'm assuming he's congratulating you because uh, um, yeah. But anyways, folks, we appreciate all of that. So yeah, so let's talk about the award a little bit, and then we'll kind of wrap it up. And speaking of award, I will, and I want my folks to know as well too, because I do have supporters watching and listening. I will be at another awards event this Thursday as well too, and so something to kind of look to kind of keep an eye out for. This is these things are ways for people to kind of celebrate the work that they've done over the years, all of these types of things. So a very prestigious event happening this Thursday, so I'll be there, so keep an eye out for that. So you, Jihan, you do not have to list all of the awards, but
No, I won't. I can't.
I yes. So I mean, certain awards will it's gonna stand out, and so for me, I have my own brand, the Dr. Second brand, right? We all have our own brand, and so usually I wear my medals. Like if I go somewhere, I cannot put all of those things on me, so to speak. But I usually get those ones, and I really appreciate for me, the Antier Medal for Good Citizenship for a couple of reasons. One, it is from the government, it is provincial, it is for good citizenship. I think it fits perfectly with my personal values and so forth. And I don't know any of the people who making selection. I don't have any relationship with them, no connection, and so forth. So it's very special to me and so forth. And that's one reason I carry it here, close to my heart.
And
How
so
about
we should.
you?
And so we should. I do want to give you it was cute. It was really cute.
Mhm,
But
mhm,
before I do that,
mhm,
I want to share with you that recently, um, the there is an organization started 10 years ago by a wonderful lady that I got to know.
mhm,
It's called Women of Egypt, and she
mhm,
coordinated with all the Egyptian cultural departments and the embassies in many countries. So she selected me to represent Women of Egypt for Canada. And so we had this kind of event where I would be representing Egypt in Canada, another in the UK, another one in France, Italy, uh, like from all different parts of the world. And that to me was different because most of my other awards were here from and to Canadians. So that one was had a kind of like a different uh, warm feeling for me. But the one I want to tell you about is and that was about 33 or 35 actually years ago, when I was nominated for Oktoberfest Woman of the Year for
mhm,
multiculturalism. That was so many years ago.
mhm.
Um, it just coincided with the fact that my son decided to arrive on that day. So my husband and my daughter decided to attend on my behalf. And she's the one in the group picture, not me, for all the recipients. And when she had to say a few words, like my kids amaze me. Sometimes they come up with really smart things. And she stood there and she said, sorry, my mother can't be here today because she is busy being a mother. Because I
Yeah,
had
yeah.
just delivered.
Wow. Yeah. And you know that event, I have to say they've okay, now my camera is moving along here. They've branded really well because they still do that, and they've kind of, as you would know, they've kind of broadened it a little bit with different, criteria, not criteria, but different
No, but they don't have
level.
multicultural.
Oh, they removed the multicultural.
I was the last one. I guess I ruined it for everybody else.
So they probably kind of stretch on it in different ways. I want to quickly, while you're thinking of other pieces you want to share in terms of your awards, I want to say hello to Dr. John Massimi. He's watching.
Oh,
He's
how
probably
are you?
watching because you
Yeah,
were here. He's watching because you
amazing.
were here.
Yes. Hi, John.
So we have two Johns watching here with kind of thing. Um, yeah, so any other one? I think that's a very meaningful one. It fits exactly, with the work that you've done over the years. Multiculturalism, that has been your thing, right? Consistent with that. It fits with the demographic that we have here in the region of Waterloo and in Canada as a whole and whatnot. You didn't mention about the Activision one.
You did. You did.
I
You
did.
did.
Okay. Oh, there you go. Good answer. Good answer. I like it. Yeah. Yeah.
No, no.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, no, I
I
know. I'm
treasure,
just
I
joking.
treasure your appreciation. I treasure our long standing professional friendship, and
Mhm.
so please don't think that I am ignoring it. I
I'm
just
just no,
wanted to
no, no,
tell the
no.
story of
No.
my daughter. Yeah,
One of the things that I see that they're doing now, most organizations, which is such a beautiful thing, because I was thinking, how come they're not? Now they're including men in those awards where it's an ally, because you need men to support women and women's initiative as well too. Even though you want women to be in leadership role and you want them to have those opportunity, especially women, minority women and so forth. I think for me, you really have to have men to be part of all of that as well too, to kind of understand, the importance and kind of maybe step back if there's a need to. That's one of the reasons the government of Canada, as you would know, they now give time off for men, right, when a baby is born, right? Because they want men to be kind of, part of all of that and things of that sort. So even though there might be, women, some sort of, women award related kind of thing. It's nice to have, men who've been supporting women because I've received quite a few awards for supporting women. Just so you know that, right? Because that's important. In fact, when I've done my Bachelor of Social Work, I've chosen the coalition of Muslim women, because for me, it just cannot be a talk of us talking about, okay, well, we should do this, and we should do that, and we should include women more and so forth. I want it to be an example, and say, look, well, I have made that, decision on my own. And same thing with Focus for Ethnic Women. I know they no longer exist, as you would know. I believe you were part of it.
actually, they are in a very slow, quiet way. They're still there.
They're still there behind the scenes doing something somehow. Oh, well, I'm happy to hear because I was trying to have a conversation last night at the awards event. We were talking about it, but as you mentioned, more kind of quiet kind of thing. So somebody said they're kind of done. But when I was chosen as one of Canada's top 25, immigrants, it came with some cash dollars, right? And the money didn't. I mean, the money was for me per se, but I had the privilege to choose a nonprofit organization to give that money to. And I've knowingly, consciously chosen Focus for Ethnic Women.
Wow.
And the
Okay.
reason for that, because I was thinking, if I'm in social work and we keep seeing how women get the short end of the stick and all of these kinds of things, how can I make a different decision? So I did, and do that and whatnot. And at that time, they were doing well. But I think when the founder, and I'm not sure if I should say this or not, but I think when the founder retired and whatnot, and then different people, took over, I think it looks like they wanted to do some business model related thing or whatever they were trying to do. Like it didn't work out well, and anyways, whatever happened, it didn't work out well in their favor. But I thought they had a good thing going on there for sure. I really thought, yeah.
You know, maybe we could expand on this with a project. I will suggest that and see how you feel about it, because uh, where I come from, we had actually ruling queens thousands of years ago. They
Mhm,
weren't
mhm,
pretty faces; they were actually ruling, and so the concept of a lot of people tell me you're a feminist, and I reject that concept. I don't think I'm a feminist. I work in partnership with full support from my husband. We don't tell each other what to do, and that's wonderful. We both respect each other's boundaries, but that's not unusual from where I come from. Okay. Um, I wasn't thinking I'm breaking ground when I went off and did a printing business and a magazine, you know.
mhm.
So I found that when I came here, um, it wasn't the same. Now, let's just put it this way.
Um,
I'd like us
well,
to talk.
okay.
I'd like us to delve deeper into this, because you obviously have more expertise on what's happening here in Canada about this.
Well, first of all, thank you for thank you for sharing that. I mean, to come back to the organization itself, though, at that time, I felt that it had a good thing going on. But based on what you have said as well too, there are different ways to kind of look at it. I think, in one sense, having an organization as such empowers women. They get an opportunity to showcase talent and so many different things. But I also think that there are cons to it as well too, because for me, and that's we are far away from that. You and I will not get to see that. Maybe it's going to take 5 generations, but I think it's nice if we can just see the individual as a human being and don't even discriminate between male and female and all of these types of things. But we are far away from that. That's a whole different show, kind of thing. And I think because we know that all of these things takes like a long time in terms of seeing change and making change happen. I think that's one of the reasons we have like the awards, things like show like last night and so forth, because the minority kind of population are thinking you know they need to highlight their people, or highlight their strength, or highlight stuff that you normally don't, or people you don't normally hear of and so forth.
No, but I mean, okay. Here's one of the while you're speaking, that came to my
Mhm,
mind, not
mhm,
necessarily relevant,
mhm,
but
mhm,
for example, my middle daughter, when she went to, it was even preschool, and I'm dressing her practically to be able to play in the sand and whatever they do, and then she's like, I want to look pretty like a doll. I said, but you're going to be messing in the sand and the mud and the whatever. I'm a girl, and so uh, she wants to wear pink. She wants to wear a dress, and
mhm.
she somehow came back from the group she's with that concept, where it was new to me, to be honest with you. We go a little bit deeper. We don't look at what you're wearing and what color. Um, it was an education to me.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's something. That was a learning thing for you. I mean, same thing when I came here. Wearing anything you want to wear, really, so to speak, was an adjustment for me, right? Because I didn't go to like Catholic school. I went to public school, KCI to be specific. I guess it was right opposite where I was living at King's Tower there. And so all of those things were adjustment, and I can still remember, even though I was a teenager, I went to the guidance counselor, and I said to him that that everybody should wear uniform, like I'm saying to him, and he said to me, he said, "Being around, you will make a good politician." He told me. Yes. I know, because their guidance counselor, they guide me. They don't know. what path people will, will take in their life and so forth. But but I think based on what I was saying to him and whatnot, I think he was just saying that, hey, maybe a politician would be a good fit for you, So that was kind of interesting. When I ended up running, even though I didn't secure a seat, I was thinking of him and whatnot, and coincidentally, when I ran for mayor, I went to that same school to do a debate,
Hmm.
because some of the kids, the older ones, will meet that voting age, like the grade 12, grade 13, kind of have that status to vote. And so I went and I did ask, and I mentioned a few names there, and they said to me, that they're no longer here, that they just retired, kind of thing. Yeah. So
So
yeah.
here's another thing. Since you mentioned counselors, um, my kids' high school, all three of them, although there's a 14-year gap between my first and second child, they all went to the same high school because we came we stayed in the same house, so they all went to the same high school. Um, with the two girls, the counselor ob obstructed their choice. One of them wanted something in particular. I think it was advanced calculus or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
he's like, no, she's a girl. She should take drama. And I said, she's making a career choice. And if that's what she wants and her grades allow it, I don't see why you should have a problem with it. And he did have a problem. I had to go with my husband, and we had to bring in the principal and make sure that she did get what she wants. Um, Unfortunately, I am very persistent about those things. With the second one, I get a phone call. That's 14 years later, okay? And she's also choosing something that will match what she's doing. And my kids were all in the what they called the advanced. Um, my oldest has a master's degree in neurobiology. My second one is a family doctor, and the counselor again doesn't think that she should waste her time taking such tough things. Poor thing, she's a girl. And I said, I'll come and meet you. Same counselor. And then I stand at the door. I guess he didn't think 14 years later I'd be the same troublemaker. And he's like, oh, it's this Mrs. Sabry. And I said, yes. And he said, well, I guess she is going to take the advanced. I said, you guessed correctly. Now, you wait until the boy, he's my youngest. I never heard from the counselor, whether it's because of his previous experiences or because this is a boy, he can choose whatever he wants. So we have something systemic that is still not giving the female her due respect. And that is what I want to dig deeper
Okay.
into.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that, Jihan. So on that note, I want you to know that I appreciate you taking time off your busy schedule to join us.
I
You know
appreciate the
that
invitation. Thank you.
you're welcome anytime, and you know that this is open invitation for you to join us. We are going to continue to connect like we normally do, kind of thing. So this is just a show. We brought you on here, but we connect on a good basis, and we have good chat and good laughs.
Next one on my show.
There you go. And we exchange ideas and all that. I'm now giving you the opportunity to kind of say any last minute thing in terms of encouragement, for folks. Um, any last minute thing you would like to say, and then we'll wrap it up.
Basically, I don't. I am one of those optimists. Like I'm a half full type of person. So I wish a lot of people would start their new life here, or their involvements with the expectation that what they have is worthwhile to contribute and share with everybody else, and not too shy from it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. All right.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for that once again. So, my dear fellow listeners and viewers, as we are approaching the end of tonight's program, we would like to take this opportunity to thank you for tuning in to the Dr. Narine Dat Show. On
Thank you.
behalf of myself and my very special guest, Gehan, both of us would like to join together and wish you a great today and even better tomorrow. We'll see you next time.
Inshallah. Take care.